can't wait for Easter. Long bank holidays, excessive chocolate consumption, a vaguely religious message about Jesus' ability to respawn IRL. What's that? It's already over? April? Well, how long has that been a thing? This is ridiculous. Okay, well, apparently Easter is well beyond us at this point. Serves us right for using a pre-Julian reform calendar, I suppose. But because we've always got our fingers on the beating pulse of current trends, we're going to cover our favourite Easter eggs in gaming anyway. The origins of gaming's favourite hidden treasures can be traced to 1979 in Atari's Adventure for the 2600, when developer Warren Robinette, annoyed at Atari's policy of not crediting their employees, decided to include his name in a secret room accessible only by standing on a very specific grey dot. After discovering Robinette's chambers, rather than recall and replace every game, they decided to roll with it and encourage the addition of hidden gems the player could discover, and thus our Easter eggs were born, leading to developers sprinkling their secrets throughout hundreds of games, from pop culture references to hidden lore, nods to player myths, or just plain silliness. Let's look at some! I'm Ben from TripleJump, and here are the 10 greatest Easter eggs in video games. Number 10. The Stanley Parable. Alright, so this game's basically one big Easter egg from start to finish. A tightly woven mesh of interlocking decisions, paths, and alternative endings. The Stanley Parable is both a parody of the so-called walking simulator and one of the best examples of one. Basically, your character, Stanley, wakes up in an empty office to find that his entire experience is being narrated. Rather excellently, we might add, with the disembodied voice guiding us along the right paths and scolding us when we stray.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
It's all about choice, you see. The game is as long or as short as you want it to be, depending on your curiosity, and many hidden endings manage to subvert the player's expectations perfectly. For example, in a room with a single ringing phone, if you pull the plug on it, you'll be given an instructional video about decision-making. Sneaking out of the window from the start leads to a fourth wall-breaking monologue about the nature of branching decisions and reloading saves, and derail the narrator's storyline enough times, and he'll end up putting you in someone else's game where, you know what? We wouldn't want to spoil all the surprises, would we, Stanley? Number 9. Perfect Dark. If you've ever played Rare's iconic Perfect Dark back in 2000, you might have come across the odd cheesy surprise. According to the game's fandom wiki, cheese is a generic term for a diverse group of milk-based food products. Great. Glad we cleared that one up, but why were they there? Did these collectibles unlock a new area or powerful cheat? Was it part of an obscure subplot of alien Emmental enthusiasts? Or, as one school friend who we'll call Lying Timothy told us, could these unlock a cheese-firing super weapon that turned enemy into mice? Well, turns out they were simply put there by a level designer inspired by a piece of an airplane that looked suspiciously like a wedge of cheddar and decided to leave a calling card in every level. Yeah, that's literally it. This spiritual successor to GoldenEye was released in that mystifying time before widespread internet access, when speculation was rife about things like mystery cheeses and could only really be explained away with any old guff by liars like Timothy. Number 8. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. If you've ever had a borderline sociopathic urge to maim and mutilate poor innocent mannequins, then Black Ops 2 has you covered, with some nice relaxing Atari games to help soothe those troublesome voices in your head. In Nuketown 2025, itself a throwback to the fan favourite Nuketown map from the first Black Ops title, the lifeless dummies hold a retro secret. If you behead all the mannequins on the map within 90 seconds, then the TV screen in the middle of the map will load up some vintage Activision titles from the Atari 2600. Featuring 4 classic titles, Pitfall, Hero, River Raid, and Kaboom, and even a cute pixelated joystick controller. It's not the first time the series has gone old school either. In the Black Ops 1 start menu, you can break free of your shackles and use the terminal to enjoy the classic text adventure game Zork, along with the Dead Ops arcade mode. Number 7. Doom 2. Let's keep things retro for a moment with one of the granddaddies of first-person shooters, Doom. The demon-slaying Doom guy is one of gaming's most iconic characters, with plenty of games dropping in references to the Dude, from Tony Hawk's 3 to Duke Nukem 3D. And in Doom 2, they go one step further, paying homage to the creator of Doom Guy, the legendary game designer John Romero. During the final boss fight, if you use a no-clip code and walk through the hole in the head of the monster, you'll come to a secret room and discover the real endgame boss is the boss man himself. Romero revealed later that it was an in-joke by the developers, who changed a hidden sprite that was integral to the battle. But when Romero found this in testing, he went along with it, recording the line, "To win the game, you must kill me, John Romero," then reversing it and lowering the pitch for the boss's audio. All of which took less than a day to be discovered, presumably by nerds! Number 6. Batman Arkham Asylum. Players can often go to extreme lengths to uncover every scrap of secret in their favourite games, combining elite detective work with relentless determination like some kind of Terminator Sherlock Holmes. So it's all the more impressive when an Easter egg is so well hidden, it falls to the developers themselves to reveal it to the community. So it was with Batman Arkham Asylum, where the sneaky devils at Rocksteady Studios put in a huge hint to their sequel right under our noses, and for 2 years, we had no clue until the sequel was announced and the cat hat was let out of the bag. In fairness, they hid it well. No scans or detective vision revealed anything about this unassuming piece of wall in the warden's office. The only giveaway was a slightly different texture on that segment. Blow it up though, and you'll discover the warden's super secret collection of statues, scarab beetles, and most importantly, a blueprint detailing expansions for Arkham into the city itself. So much for Batman's elite detective reputation. Number 5. Borderlands 2.
More like Memelands 2. More like Memelands the pre-meme cool. More like border memes. More like meme.
Say what you want about Claptrap, but he's got a point there. The Borderlands series is so full of outside references, inside jokes, and literally all of the memes, they're basically the Matryoshka dolls of never-ending Easter eggs. To be honest, the only reason this isn't higher on the list is because after a while you just kind of expect it, but that doesn't take away from the brilliance of discovering these gems. In Borderlands 2, we've got nods to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the quest Splinter group, and if you solve a light switch puzzle, you'll even flush out Flinter from his hidey hole. Popular game titles get frequent mentions. For example, in Caustic Caverns alone, we have 2 major Easter eggs. There are the familiar-looking Explodey Boys from hit mining and crafting game Infiniminer, or was it Roblox? And we also see Dark Souls champion of jolly cooperation, Knight Solaire, or Solitaire, chilling near a bonfire. And there's even an homage to the very popular meme of the time, Double Rainbow, with Handsome Jack and Claptrap versions. Number 4. Fallout New Vegas. Who remembers the 4th Indiana Jones film? Anyone? Well, trick question, because there was no 4th film. There are actually only 3 true indie films, and anyone sympathetic to the Crystal Skull travesty should be given the full Kali Ma treatment. I mean, aliens in an indie film, and don't get us started on the whole survive a nuke by hiding in a fridge bit, which is frankly ludicrous, as proven by this entry. Obsidian Entertainment obviously didn't think much of these fridge nuke antics, because if you travel a short distance from the starting town of Goodsprings, you'll find a skeleton curled up in an old refrigerator alongside what looks to be Dr. Jones's signature hat. Looks like the fridge raider of the Lost Ark wasn't so lucky in this timeline.
He chose poorly.
Number 3. Portal. Spoiler alert, you know that cake that keeps on being promised in Portal? Yeah, it's not real. Doesn't exist. Utter fabrication. Not happening. You get the picture. You might even say the cake is... Look, okay, scriptwriter James, I'm not going to say it. I'm just not. They all know what it is. The joke's bloody tired. Okay? You guys all knew what I was going to say, right? Good. Okay, well, let's get on with it. The false idol of the cake and other insane wall scribblings could be discovered in Portal's infamous Ratman dens, first found tucked away in Test Chamber 16 behind a broken wall. They're the result of a mysterious mad scientist called Doug Ratman, with his other layers shedding light on his unhealthy obsession with the companion cube and fondness for vandalizing cameras. Not only did this legendary Easter egg give birth to the classic cake memes, but it also led to Mr. Ratman getting his own comic series, fleshing out the patchy lore of the Portal story, and yet more dens and crazed graffiti tagging in the sequel. Although the madman was at least right about the cake thing, wasn't he? The cake is a lie. I said the cake is a lie. Fine. Number 2. Diablo 2 and 3. Tell a fib enough times and anyone could start believing it was true. Just look at Diablo 1's community speculation about the native livestock. The legend goes that if a random cow was clicked on enough times, it would open up a portal to a secret level. Now, this never actually existed in the first game, but be careful what you wish for, as Blizzard took note for Diablo 2 and added in an official secret cow level. Although if you asked Blizzard about any of this, they'll deny it, obviously. All you had to do was combine Wirt's Leg and a Tome of Town portal in the Heradric Cube. Really, it's obvious when you think about it. And blammo, you have a one-way ticket to the Bovine Blitz. Entering the Moo Moo Farm level isn't for the faint of heart though, as you get swamped almost immediately by a horde of hell bovines led by a rather nasty Cow King. Diablo 3 took things one step further, where if you speak to the ghost of this cattle monarch, you can head to the magical realm of Whimsyshire to fight the unspeakable horrors of brightly coloured unicorns, flowers, and happy clouds. Number 1. Grand Theft Auto. "You'll find no Easter eggs here," boldly proclaimed Rockstar on more than one occasion, but I think we've learned by now that sometimes developers aren't always truthful about their secrets. Isn't that right, Blizzard? The Grand Theft Auto series has a long relationship with Easter eggs, almost as old as the infamous bunny itself. From the well-known "You're not supposed to be here" sign in GTA 3 and the throwbacks to their earliest top-down games in the Internet Cafe, all the way to the most recent GTA 5 and its numerous mysteries around UFO sightings, Sasquatch, and hidden jetpacks. There are so many, in fact, that we couldn't just pick one, as you can probably tell. We could go over the numerous scar faces in Vice City, like the chainsaw in the bathroom, or the fake moon landing movie set. There's even a literal Easter egg to discover in a hidden room. In GTA San Andreas, besides the popular Bigfoot myth that was paid homage to later in the series, you also had the bridge sign, another bridge sign, this time with facts, and what might even be a reference to a Forrest Gump scene where Lieutenant Dan leaves his wheelchair for a swim? GTA 4's Statue of Happiness is home to one of the weirdest secrets, despite the sign to the contrary, with a literal beating heart of the city encased within. And GTA 5 really makes us work hard for the secrets, with a frozen alien underneath the ice at the starting location, a whole murder mystery trail to follow, and if you manage to 100% the entire game, you can finally track down that fuzzy camera-shy Wookiee and put him in his place. And there we have it, our favourite Easter eggs in gaming, but there are hundreds out there, so let us know yours in the comments below. You can follow myself and TripleJump on Twitter here, and while you're at it, why not support the things you enjoy by having a look at our Patreon. Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Ben from TripleJump, and thanks for watching.